Let's be real. If you clicked on this video, then you want some overpowered, no giving villains, so let's waste no time and get into this list. Number 10.
ゼクトバカめ俺は死んでもギブアップなどしねえ加減しても死ぬか
Kicking off the list, we have the Misfit of Demon King Academy, a series about an absolute savage. The story begins with the Demon King ending his own life to end the conflict to help not only the demons, but also the humans. Although he died, he reincarnated into the future to a point where his heroic acts are forgotten. Despite this, he goes about his life, eventually enrolling in the Demon King Academy for whatever reason. Here, he meets various students along with some of his previous attendants.
心臓の鼓動だ
Now that you know this, you can only expect how much of a beast he is during school. Whether it's someone disrespecting him or simply looking at him in a way he doesn't like, he shows no mercy to whoever crosses his path.
まったく世話の焼ける奴らだ
Number 9.
バトルでお前らを
走ってきたよ
めんどくせえな
Up next, we have Go-Go Loser Rangers, a new anime that many overlooked. The protagonist, D, is a member of the monsters who attempt to conquer the Earth. As you can probably guess, things don't turn out this way as he gets essentially forced into slavery.
正義だ もうやだ
With the Power Rangers, otherwise known as the Keepers, forcing them to consistently lose in battle to make it seem like the war between them is ongoing, D finds himself in the center of this all. Eventually, he gets sick and tired of being the Keeper's plaything, so he decides to try another method. D decides to infiltrate the Power Rangers squad in order to hopefully take away the only weapon able to truly kill them: the divine artifacts. As the story goes on, he gets more and more adapted to his own powers, showing that even a low-level monster like himself can make a difference.
死なない不死身だ変形トラトラトランスフォーム
Number 8.
ここから一緒に出ようね
Entering the list is Angels of Death, an anime that gets a bit freaky. In this anime, a girl named Rachel wakes up inside a strange building with no clue how she ended up there. Soon after, she meets a bandaged, cold-blooded killer named Zack, who is in the same situation but trying to escape.
僕はなんて幸福なんだ
Although things seem grim for her, the two team up in the end to hopefully find a way out of the building with a promise. This story might seem pretty normal so far, or maybe a bit on the horror side, but this is only the start. Zack isn't who he seems. Although he looks like a friendly serial killer, he has a twisted side that eventually reveals itself. Overall, this anime is a great watch with the main character as an absolute demon who does not care about human life, making it full of exciting moments.
見つけたぜ
今度は1秒も待ってやらねえ
Number 7.
リーダーなんてどうでもいい
Be prepared because this anime is one that is sure to leave you on the edge of your toes after each episode. Talentless Nana follows the story of a young girl named Nana who goes to school with supernatural students who awaken their powers following a horrific event.
リーダーなんてくだらないな、こんな茶番で。
See, 50 years ago, creatures dubbed as enemies of humanity suddenly arrived on Earth. To combat this, an academy was opened to help students hone their powers with hopes of taking these enemies out. Amongst these is our protagonist, Nana, who claims to have no talent despite being in the academy in which the talented students go. In reality, however, she is a cold-blooded murderer sent by the government to kill all of the gifted students. If you want a suspenseful show with a heartless main character, this is definitely one you should add to your bucket list.
これからもよろしくね。
Number 6.
生かしておいたのに、お前らは危険すぎた。
For the next game, we have The Kingdoms of Ruin, a series of a wannabe witch. Our protagonist, Adonis, finds himself seeking refuge from a witch named Chloe. She ends up teaching her ways, but because humanity is fearful of the witch's power, a war begins. With Adonis being in the middle of this as a part of both groups, he is forced to make a tough decision. Not to spoil anything, but let's just say he finds his way and decides that it's either his way or the highway. Whether it's to humans, witches, or even his own friends, he spares nobody, killing anyone in his path.
まだまだ未熟で。プロへの弟子が未熟なわけないじゃん。
Although this story is a bit cheesy and can seem like complete garbage at times, it definitely has its action. Basically, if you clicked on this video hoping to find an anime with a main character who makes the story worse because of how crazy he is, then here you go.
氷結魔法オリオット。
Before we continue, let me know who you think is the most savage villain of all time. As you comment, make sure to hit the subscribe and like button, and let's get back to the list. Number 5. Starting off the top 5, we have Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a series about the thug life. Our protagonist, David, finds himself in a dire situation with nobody to rely on and rent due. With no other option, he decides to join a hot girls gang to hopefully make ends meet. As time goes on and he gets more invested in the group, he finds love along with sadness. Whether it's his family members dying or even his close friends, he realizes how hard the thug life really is. Eventually, he realizes that if he wants to preserve their lives, then he must become a stronghold to protect them. As suggested, this means he gets a power boost, installing tons of cyber technology within his body in order to make him stronger. With great power comes great responsibility, however, making his life full of ups and downs. Number 4.
今日のところは休戦としようじゃねえか、レンジャー君。
Next up is Mr. Villain's Day Off, a series about a violent member of an evil organization's day off. Although he likes to rest from time to time, he makes sure to get his work done, gracefully getting closer to conquering Earth. There is just one thing stopping him, however: pandas. He is in love with pandas, so much so that it can sometimes make his evil personality seem a bit more caring.
まあいい。イチゴ持ち野郎がまずかったらただじゃおかねえ。覚悟するがいい。地球人よ。お願いします。
Despite this, at the end of the day, he is an evil villain of an evil organization that has no other purpose but to take over the world. Although this series doesn't have all the crazy fights and killing sprees like most other characters on this list have, he does have his own times where he shines.
後日報告書にはこう記した。また行きたい。
Number 3.
タモンプライマルファイヤーエレメンタル。
To begin the top 3, we have Overlord, a popular series that everybody should give a chance. During the final hour of the hit game Yggdrasil, everyone has pretty much logged out except for our protagonist, Ains. He decides to wait as the servers shut down, but as you can probably guess, he finds himself still in the world. With no way to log out, and being the leader of a demon organization, he is forced to figure his way around the world. As the cautious man he is, he decides to go around flexing his power to test the waters of the world.
改装守護者御身の前に平服し奉るご命令を至高なる御身よ我らの忠義すべてを御身に捧げます
Despite him knowing that he is clearly stronger than anyone else in this world, he still walks around pridefully, taking no disrespect to his name. With 4 seasons currently out and the 5th one on the way, this series is sure to keep you busy for the next couple of weeks. Number 2. Barely missing the number 1 spot, we have a new anime, Re-Monster. In this anime, our protagonist starts off as a worthless salaryman, barely making ends meet until one day he dies. He ends up reincarnating into a new world as a goblin, but with all of his previous memories intact. With him not wanting to end up as a crash out in this life, he decides to start training from day 1, rapidly becoming stronger in the process. As he advances in his progression of becoming stronger, he realizes that life is more fun with comrades. The only challenge here is that he is a goblin, so he decides to just kidnap people. Whether it's humans, elves, or even random creatures, he has no clue how to identify, he goes all out. Of course, included with this are lots of girls, turning him into a bit of a playboy, you could say. Although this show is basically a ripoff of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, it is still a series that is sure to retain your attention.
ベノムによって分泌した俺の毒をゴブミちゃんの矢に塗っておいたのは正解だった。
Number 1.
お前何のつもりだ。
To finish off the list, we have the anime Demon Lord Retry, an anime that I think is severely underrated. Like most of the other protagonists in this list, our main character started as a deadbeat, either playing games all day or living in a smelly apartment. Things changed, however, when our protagonist, Kunai, teleported into the game he created, with him making himself as a demon lord stronger than anyone else in this world. He has no problem finding his way around. Although he has the ultimate power and can easily make a joke out of anyone, he has a bit of humanity within him telling him to chill.
だが最後の来訪者となるお主にはこれを与える
Regardless, as a middle-aged man who had no real exciting events in his past world, he makes sure to live a life of chaos and destruction.
そんなもの幻聴だ。
Well, wraps up the list. Let me know in the comments section which of these anime you plan on watching. As you do, make sure to like and subscribe as it's the best way to support me. Thanks!